Are you frustrated with poor contact and craving that feeling of hitting crisp, compressed iron shots? Well, in this video, you'll learn exactly how to do this with a simple rotation and relocation exercise that'll transform your ball striking. Let's get stuck in.
Okay, Martin, today we're going to be talking about crispy contact.
Amen, brother, just like that.
All right, and we see this divot.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of a reference of the bottom of the swing arc here with the alignment stick, but you do a lot of golf schools, mate.
Right.
And one of the most common requests you get is about contact, isn't it?
Number one, it's all contact. Everybody wants to hit it flush. That's the drug of good golf.
I love that. Love that. So in reference to creating compression, a divot after the golf ball on the target side, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your key principles that you have to get this crispy contact?
So I'm a big fan of, we use something like this. Like if I just push that stick through, you could see where your golf ball was and where your divot took place.
Yeah.
Okay, low point is after impact, right?
Yeah.
So the understanding of the low point, is not the ball for iron shots is a big deal for amateurs. So that's like right off the get-go, Kerrod, if people realize like, hey, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that I'm landing, somewhere underneath the ball and maybe coming onto the earth a little closer to my left foot. So that's like for people, okay? So they have to know that rather than just the bottom of the circle is the ball. So we show them that. Quite often, Kerrod, we just have a simple drill, and this was taught to me by my mentor, George Knudsen, rest in peace, amazing coach and player, to where we'd stand there with a club on our thighs like this, and we'd simply, to steal his coin phrase, rotate and relocate, okay? So it's this event of teaching people how to share their weight 50-50-ish, and I'll get into some more dynamics, but the bottom line is that you look at the oval of the hips and how it's on top of this ball line stick, and this event that carries me to here, now when I look back, like how much of me is really behind where the ball was.
Yeah.
So this is another like aha moment for a student.
Sure.
And then finally, obviously there's more ingredients in baking this cake, but the sense of how this event pressures for the opportunity to get to here, where most students have something instead of this landing lead side with this opportunity to have a low point forward, they will make a motion where they'll never put pressure back here for some reason. As a coach, it's our job to draw it out. Is it a face issue? Because we're amazing computers, aren't we? We hit one way over there and we go, wait a second, I don't want it to go way right. So maybe this time we'll hang back and buy time to flip a face closed.
Yeah.
Now they're down a road of maybe hitting it straighter, but never really compressing it.
For sure.
So they don't get that nice feel.
Crispy feeling, right?
Crispy feeling.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about the rotation and relocation component.
Yeah, for sure. So rotation, relocation, like I just love the coin phrases of, for people to realize that there is a relocation, rotation component. So there's that crispy sound that will touch the wall, touch the ground. And then from a face on, I'll say, hey, come take a look at this. Where is my bottom compared to where it started?
Yeah, for sure. So just set up to that again for me.
Yeah,
I'll
for
put
sure.
a little reference line up against your back hip here. So make your swing throughout the entirety of the backswing, then shift into the downswing. You can see his button does sort of create space originally from where the backside was.
Totally, 100%. Another good one too, if you stand right there for a second, I'll have the student, let me have the club just an angle off on me just a bit, put some pressure right here and give me a push.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, and I'll ask the student, what do you feel in my takeaway? You know what I mean? Because here's what they'll do. They'll create some loading motion where pressure goes to the right. They won't turn and let that release.
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? So you feel that pressure release?
Yeah, big time.
So your countryman, RPB, right?
Yeah.
Greg Norman used to say, when he really wanted to rip one, right pocket back.
Big time.
So that right cheek would go that way. Not to say we go that way. I see people overdo it and go here. They never really have a sense of pressure load up and then go.
Yeah. Do you have a great little exercise or drill that players can do to assist with that right hip pocket back?
A lot of times it's visual. Like there's this, I'll film from back here.
Yeah.
I'll put an extra glove in their pocket, a la Mac O'Grady.
Yeah.
So now this player can see this event happening a little bit more, but rather than a stagnated turn, they have something they can watch.
Yeah.
And then I'll physically get down there and manipulate their pelvis.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, I do a ton of video coaching. Video is great, and some people do really well.
Yeah.
But some people need to, like, literally get manhandled.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Because once they get that feeling of, oh, I get they just need permission. If they get permission to feel, oh, it's okay to, let that pelvis rotate that much. Yeah, it's okay. And if you help them a little, then they go, oh, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Then they feel it. Then that whole RPB, Greg Norman feeling can take place.
I love that. So the rotation component is very important in the backswing.
Oh.
And we're getting somewhat of a centered pivot, right?
Right.
So a centered turn, so we're not shifting too far off it.
Yeah.
We're allowing this back leg to lengthen.
Always.
Okay, so we're able to stay over the golf ball. And then the relocation component, talking about the transition here, Martin, it's almost a feeling like you're falling down a hill, isn't it?
It totally. Our friend Jeff Ritter, he uses the word surf.
Yeah.
All these different things. And I love to show comparative video. When I see, here's what I'll see too. I'll see this with students regularly. Okay. The people that really struggle, I can put a golf ball, opposite my left heel. I can hit a shot and that would be, that ball would be fine. And also I could take a golf ball and I would put it opposite my right heel. Now, if I just kind of demonstrated, both these golf balls will stay pretty, both golf balls didn't move.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Yeah.
I'll see a lot of this.
Disco Dave legs.
Right? Yeah, Elvis Presley, whatever you want to call it, where the pressure won't actually go forward because they don't create the opportunity to unweight themselves to land.
Yeah.
You got to push to create this weightlessness so you can land. Then you get to go. And training that's tricky. We have fun with that because once people get that understanding of weightlessness, I always say, okay, watch me really quickly and I'll lower myself. And they'll say, okay, when I lowered myself, I technically disappeared from the world for a moment. The earth didn't feel me. Then I can exaggerate, my feet come off the ground as I get lower.
Yeah.
So I'll say that's an unweighting event that lets me catch my weight and have something to push and rotate. Yeah. And then I'll explain how that leads to speed as well, because now you're in this place where this golf club has this opportunity to work down while you work up, and you're creating this centrifugal blast off of the club head, where most golfers are very high, and all you can do is kind of whap at it and don't create much speed.
For sure. So for a reference for the guys at home from the face-on view, I want you to hit a couple for me, Mum.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to make some observations here as he does so you can be aware of this. As Martin sets up to the golf ball here, let's have a look at his head first of all on this shot here. So it's going to stay relatively stable from address all the way into the follow-through, and you can see it moves slightly down and then finishing nice and tall at the completion of the swing. On the next one, when Martin hits this, we're going to pay attention to his back hip here, so his right hip. Awesome. I'm going to look at this from the down the line angle, and what you're going to see is this back glute actually push back behind himself as he starts to make his swing. Beautiful. And then the final piece that we're actually going to look at, Martin, I want you to hold that follow-through position. One more crispy eye, and you can see the divot pattern that Martin has produced here is very representative of what you would see with your favorite golfer. Beautiful quality strikes, getting that fizzing noise off the club face.
Fizz. And where do I play my golf balls? Always in the back of the divots. Don't prop them up on the front. Teeter. Don't do that.
That's what I do. Okay, so set up to this one. Nice big pure strike, mate. Hold that finish for me.
Will do.
Beautiful. Okay, so right here we can see that Martin's belt buckle is almost the apex of his body, right? Big, tall chest, head feeling long, tall, same as any other athletic motion, Martin. If we're doing a big uppercut, punch, tennis, forehand, whacking a baseball down there as much as we can. Guys, if you want crispy iron shots, rotate, relocate here at the Raven with Martin Chuck.